Are you a big fan of Spider-Man? Are you curious about some of Spider-Man's most notorious villains over the years? Well, you're in luck, as this is the place to come to find out. Welcome back to Comet Comics, where today we will be counting down our top 10 picks for the greatest Spider-Man villains. If you want to see more content like this, make sure to like the video, hit that subscribe button, and click that bell icon for notifications on upcoming content. With that, let's jump right into our top 10 greatest Spider-Man villains. Shall we? Number 10, Rhino. Over the years, Spider-Man has faced many animal-like villains, Rhino being one of the biggest. Before becoming the Rhino, Alexi was just your run-of-the-mill mob enforcer, but all that changed when he became a volunteer for the experimental treatment that grafted a combat suit to his skin. This treatment not only gave Alexi inhuman strength and speed, which allowed him to cause mass amounts of damage, but increased his durability as well, making his skin impenetrable. With this increase in strength, durability, and speed, he becomes quite the formidable opponent for Spider-Man. Rhino will often use his incredible strength to plow right through objects and walls using his giant horn as a piercing object, and since he can move insanely fast for his size, this increases that destructive force. He is, however, lacking in the brains department, and for his size, his mobility is an issue, making it hard to catch Spider-Man at times, which is why he lands our spot at number 10. Number 9, Lizard. Although Curtis Connors is a brilliant surgeon and scientist, after injecting himself with an experimental treatment to help grow his arm back, he becomes the personification of the classic tale Jekyll and Hyde. The experiment helped regenerate his arm, but it worked a little too well. Instead, the lizard DNA in the serum mutated, turning him into a giant lizard and fracturing his mind into two personas, Curtis Connors and the Lizard. Now armed with the lizard alter ego, Connors always faces an internal struggle to subdue the lizard persona. Even though he usually keeps the persona under control, on occasion the lizard takes control and tries to not only kill Spider-Man, but enact his evil schemes. Even going as far as recreating the lizard formula to turn all of New York into lizard people just like him. Now, as fun as it may be to have increased speed and strength, I don't think I would want to look like a lizard to get it. Sorry, Connors. Number 8, Electro. 1964 was an electrifying year for Spider-Man, as it birthed the supervillain known as Electro. Max Dillon, like all classical villains, had a freak of nature accident happen to him, turning him into an electrical capacitor. What was this accident, you ask? Well, he was hit by lightning on the job as an electrical lineman. It was with this accident that Max was able to get everything he wanted, and to do that he turned to a life of crime. Over the years, he has caused many headaches for Spider-Man, even becoming an original member of the supervillain team, the Sinister Six. Not only has he fought Spider-Man over the years, but he also got to taste defeat from the devil of Hell's Kitchen, Daredevil. As powerful as Electro may be when it comes to absorbing, generating, and dispersing energy, his biggest weakness comes when he's at his strongest, as it's pretty easy to short-circuit him with water. I know, it's shocking, right? He may be able to dish it out, but he's not good at taking it when it involves water. Number 7, Mysterio. Quentin Beck is one of Spider-Man's more interesting villains, as he's just a VFX artist. Well, to be more specific, he is a genius inventor, chemist, strategist, and actor, making him skilled in the Department of Illusions. Now, how did he become Mysterio, join the Sinister Six, and become a prominent villain for Spider-Man over the years? Well, not only is he a master at illusions, but he has also developed a hallucinogenic gas that aids him in psychologically tormenting Spider-Man and anyone that stands in his way. He is also equipped with web shooters of his own design, and android avatars equipped with weapons and gas. His suit is equipped with all kinds of advanced gadgets, and is what disperses his gas when in close proximity to his enemies. Not to mention that the hallucinogenic gas can cancel out Spider-Man's spider sense, which is a big inconvenience for the wall crawler. Even though he may just be a regular human with advanced tech, he has earned this spot on our list as the Master of Illusions. Number 6, Jackal. Miles Warren, aka the Jackal, is a bit out there when it comes to Spider-Man villains, as he is a brilliant biochemist who is obsessed with cloning people. He weirdly enough fell in love with Peter Parker's girlfriend, Gwen Stacy, and after she died, he was dead set on bringing her back at any cost. This leads him to also clone Peter Parker, finding out he is Spider-Man from a sample of his DNA. After accidentally killing his assistant, his mind shatters, creating the persona of the Jackal as he tries to blame someone else for the death. Since Miles blames Spider-Man for Gwen's death, he enacted many plans over the years to try and take him out. Some of these included sending a clone of Gwen to torture Spider-Man emotionally, sending Scorpion to kill Peter's aunt, and even manipulating the Punisher into trying to kill him. The Jackal even created his own serum that gave him the look of his classic costume, a jackal. Number 5, Kraven the Hunter. Sergei Kravenov had to make our list as he considers himself one of the best hunters in the world, and we are inclined to believe him. Being born into a Russian aristocracy that had come to an end, you could say Kravenov became Kraven the Hunter to regain some of his lost sense of nobility. With the help of his voodoo priest girlfriend Calypso, he is able to enhance his strength, speed, and sense to match that of different jungle beasts. These potions also extended his life while keeping him relatively young and healthy. After a while of hunting big game in the jungle, Kraven began to get bored with it and started hunting Spider-Man instead. After being bested by Spider-Man on multiple occasions, Kraven decided to join the Sinister Six, as he thought there would be more strength in numbers. Even though they would lose again, Kraven would go on to eventually defeat Spider-Man, then impersonate him, putting multiple people in the hospital. Number 4. Kingpin. Kingpin is an intriguing villain when it comes to Spider-Man, as nothing was known about him for the longest time. As time went on, we got to learn Wilson Fisk was the bodyguard of Mafia boss Don Rigoletto, and after killing him, he usurped his empire. From that point on, he continued to amass money, power, and fame, eventually becoming a respected businessman by day and the king of crime by night. What makes Kingpin such an insane villain for Spider-Man is not only his sheer size, strength, and agility, but his intelligence as well. Kingpin is a whopping 450 pounds, standing at 6 feet 7 inches tall, with his body fat being a record 5%, making him pure muscle. You would think for his size he'd be slow, but he's actually able to move at Olympic level speeds, making him a really dangerous foe for the web slinger. His muscle mass is so dense, it has stopped all kinds of physical attacks, including bullets. Number 3. Venom. Venom by far is one of Spider-Man's most memorable villains, as they have a bit of a sticky history together. Before the symbiote had bonded with Eddie Brock, it actually bonded with Peter Parker. Funny enough, before that, it even bonded with Deadpool, which drove it insane. For the purpose of this video, we have to talk about Eddie Brock's Venom, as he is noticeably one of the biggest pains in Spider-Man's butt when it comes to the hosts of the Venom symbiote. Whether it's due to Brock's hatred for Spider-Man, or the symbiote's desire to rebond with Peter Parker, you will almost always see Venom going after Spider-Man or the people he cares about. Although he is considered an anti-hero, Venom doesn't tend to work well with anyone else unless it's Spider-Man. On occasion, they have had to team up and take on the likes of Carnage. Unfortunately, even after all the slack Spider-Man may give the two, Venom always falls back into crime, trying to murder Parker every chance he gets. Number 2. Doc Ock. Otto Octavius has to be one of the most intelligent villains Spider-Man has ever had to face off against. Armed with 4 robotic arms that he can control with his mind, Otto Octavius is not someone you want to mess with. Due to being exposed to radiation during an experiment gone wrong, Doc Ock was able to gain control of these mechanical arms via his mind. But all power comes at a cost, and this cost was the radiation damaging parts of his brain, which led him to becoming the maniacal Spider-Man villain we know and love today. Not only did Doc Ock create the Sinister Six team, which would become a constant group of torment for Spider-Man, but he at one point also stole Peter's body and integrated his mind into it, becoming Superior Spider-Man. Even though Otto's body might be physically weak and dying, his mind is what makes him a worthy opponent for Spider-Man. Now we can't have a top 10 without some honorable mentions. Mr. Negative. If you thought Kingpin was the only crime lord that Spider-Man has fought over the years, you'd be wrong. Like all of the supervillains before him, Martin's mind was separated into 2 different personalities, Martin Lee and Mr. Negative. In order to get revenge on the people who created him via illegal experimentation, Lee amassed wealth and power. He used this new fortune to try and take control of the entire criminal underworld of New York by wiping out all of their current leaders. He almost succeeded, but Spider-Man swooped in to stop him at the last minute. Tombstone. Tombstone is definitely one of Spider-Man's less notable enemies, but what makes him such a unique character is the fact that his skin is almost impenetrable. Unlike Rhino, Tombstone is very agile, so he is able to use the super strength and indestructible skin he has to do some real damage when it comes to fighting Spider-Man. Not only is he extremely agile, but he is also less prone to fatigue, as well as high and low temperatures. He's even very skilled in hand-to-hand combat, making him an overall great opponent for Spider-Man. Morbius. Michael Morbius had to make our honorable mentions, as he's not only a villain for Spider-Man, but also for Blade. At one point, he even becomes a vigilante, as he tries to find out a cure for his cure. What do I mean by that? Well, Morbius was first suffering from a blood disease, but after taking an experimental cure using bat DNA, he became a pseudo-vampire. So you could say he's in a bit of a pickle. What makes Morbius an interesting Spider-Man villain is that he's driven by his desire to drink blood, so you never really know what side he's on until it's too late. Number 1. Green Goblin. You just had to know that Green Goblin was going to come in at number 1 in our list, as he's one of Spider-Man's most notorious villains. Not to mention, he has invested quite a bit of time trying to destroy Spider-Man's life over the years. Osborn has not only gone after Spider-Man over the years, but also Peter's family and friends. What makes the Green Goblin stand out even further is that he often likes to put Spider-Man through psychological torment. It's these crazy antics that led to the death of Gwen Stacy, which completely devastated the Wallcrawler. Not to mention, the Green Goblin is often backed by Oscorp, which gives him access to insane amounts of weapons and firepower, including the iconic glider. Even though multiple people have played the Green Goblin over the years, Norman Osborn will always have a special place in our hearts as one of Spider-Man's most deadly opponents. Well, that's our picks for the top 10 greatest Spider-Man villains in comics and film. What do you think of our top 10? What Spider-Man villains would you have added or changed? You can let us know in the comments down below. Make sure that if you like this to smash that subscribe button, as well as clicking that bell icon to stay up to date on our content as it comes out. Thanks for tuning into Comet Comics, and I'll see you on our next top 10 video.